I'm Emma, 32 years old. A graphic designer with a life that looks calm and happy from the outside. People used to smile when they saw Ryan and me together. They'd say, "What a perfect couple." But no one really knew what went on behind closed doors. Everything started on the night of my birthday. A cold, rainy night. I had cooked dinner, lit candles, even wore the dress he had bought me. I was waiting. 1 hour. 2 hours. 3. When he finally came home, he didn't even look me in the eyes. A bouquet from the drugstore, the scent of someone else's cigarette deep in his clothes, and a forced smile. He said, "Our meeting ran late." And I just looked at him, because I already knew. That night, he left his phone at home. Maybe it wasn't on purpose. Maybe his guilty conscience made the decision for him. There was no lock. The messages were from Mr. Blake, my boss. Inside them were things my mind refused to believe. Photos, dates, and even a voice message from Ryan saying, "Emma has no clue. She still thinks we're just colleagues." I couldn't breathe. In one moment, every beautiful memory with him turned into a cruel joke. But I stayed quiet. It wasn't time yet. A few nights later they had another date. I went to the exact spot and waited in my car, hidden in the dark. I saw them hand in hand, her laugh, echoing from the woman whose name was on my paycheck. And him, the man who once swore he loved me. When I got home, my decision was already made. I sat on the bed and looked around. Our photos. My ring. I grabbed my suitcase, threw everything in, closed my laptop, a few books. And I left a note. "You made your choice. So did I. This is the last time you'll ever follow my trail. I'm not the same Emma anymore." At midnight, I took a cab to the airport. Bought a one-way ticket to a place I'd never even thought of. Just far. Far away. Now I live in a different city. New name. New number. And a heart still aching from fresh wounds. But for the first time, I'm thinking about me. Sometimes I wonder where Ryan is now. What happened when he came home and I was gone? Did he read the note? Did he look for me? And most of all, did he ever realize what he truly lost? I don't know. Maybe one day I'll go back. Maybe I never will. But this story isn't over yet. Since I left, my name wasn't Emma anymore. At the hotel, I introduced myself as Jay. Jay, a simple name. No weight of the past. No memories attached. 3 months passed in the new city. During the day, I worked at a small cafe where the smell of coffee always mixed with the rainy air. At night, I sat by the window in my tiny apartment, watching the streetlights flicker. Sometimes I told myself I was strong. Other times, I just held back tears. I tried to meet people. There were men who started conversations. One of them, David, was an architect. Kind, respectful. He even drew me a picture of a house once and said, "If you ever want to start over, I'll build this for you." But every time someone got close, every time they smiled or wanted to know more, something inside me froze. Not because of David. Or Leo, the red-haired man with the warm voice that made you want to talk for hours. But because of Ryan. Despite all the lies, all the betrayal, some part of me was still stuck in those nights when I'd lay my head on his chest and believe it was the safest place in the world. One night, I woke up from a nightmare, shaking, sweating. In the dream, Ryan was calling my name, but I couldn't turn around. That morning, without thinking, I dialed his old number. I expected it to be disconnected, or a stranger's voice. But it was him. The same voice. The same hello. I hung up. 2 weeks later, I called again. This time, I spoke, with a strange voice, a fake name. I said it was a wrong number. Ryan was silent, then said, "Jay." My heart dropped. Did he recognize me? From that day on, I called once a week. We talked about work, movies, coffee, and he talked too. He said his wife disappeared. Said he still loved her even though he messed up. He said he searched everywhere, called the police, but it was like she vanished into thin air. One time he said, "If she ever comes back, I'm willing to start from zero, even if we're just friends. I just need to know she's okay." That night I cried until morning, because the truth was I still loved him. But I was afraid. Afraid he hadn't really changed. Afraid the same man who broke me once could do it again. Then one day Ryan said, "I know it's you. I'd recognize your voice anywhere. I don't want to scare you, but if you ever decide to come back, just come to the place where you first told me you loved me. I've been going there every Friday. For a year now." Friday came. I put on my coat. My hand rested on the door handle. My heart was racing. My mind full of questions. What if I go and regret it? What if I don't and he never finds out the truth? I took a deep breath and opened the door. Friday. The city was cold and foggy. The same park where I once told Ryan, "I love you," for the first time, now felt more like an interrogation room than a memory. He was standing by the old bench, holding a single flower, his eyes heavier than I'd ever seen them. The moment he saw me, it was like he forgot how to breathe. He just stared and whispered, "I knew you'd come. Even if you didn't show up 100 times, I'd still wait." A silence settled between us, heavier than any words we could have said. Then I sat down, and I only said one thing. "If you ever do it again, you'll never hear my voice or see my face again. Ever." He swore, said he changed, that what happened with Blake was a mistake, just a moment of weakness, and that since then, he hadn't even looked at another woman. For weeks, things went well. Ryan tried. He brought me flowers, cooked dinner, even surprised me once with tickets to my favorite movie. For the first time, I started to believe maybe, just maybe, he'd become the man I always wished he could be. Until that cursed day. A wrong email. A woman's name. A hotel reservation. When I asked him, he denied it at first. Then got angry. Then silence. And I just stared at him. Exactly like the first time. That same choking feeling in my chest. That same bitter taste of betrayal. But this time it hurt more. Because this time, I had let him back in. But I wasn't going to disappear quietly again. A few weeks later, it was Ryan's father's 50th birthday. Everyone was there, family, friends, even that damned ex-boss, Blake. Ryan stood next to me, smiling, chatting like the perfect loving husband. His arm around my shoulder. His lies wrapped in charm. I smiled too, but my heart was burning. Then it was my turn to speak. Everyone expected something sweet. A warm, lovely tribute. I took the microphone, stood tall and said, calm and clear. Asterisk, tonight we celebrate a man. A father, who has always been proud of his son. But maybe it's time he learns that this son ruined the life of the woman who loved him. Twice. I am that woman. And that man, I pointed, is your beloved Ryan. Gasps. Whispers. Everyone froze. Ryan looked at me, first with disbelief, then panic. I went on. He may run from love, but this time he can't run from the truth. Because this time I didn't stay silent. I put the mic down, grabbed my coat and walked out. He ran after me. Emma, please let me explain. I turned, looked straight into his eyes, and said, it's too late, Ryan. Far too late. That night I threw him out of my life for good. But sometimes, when it rains, when the city falls quiet, a question haunts me. What if he really had changed? I still think of him sometimes, and I still hate him. But the truth is, I'm still in love with the Ryan I met that first day. Not this filthy, lying stranger he became.